The homes we have in Birmingham, different dynamics, different layouts, but it goes back to value. To a degree, ranchers have really high value in this town.
It's different from somebody that is going to go live in their forever home. To them, that inspection report is terrifying because there's so many things in red.
Welcome to the Cash Flow Bros. My name's Todd.
My name's Rob.
And my name's Jordan.
You sure? You sounded hesitant.
Was it a question mark after the Jordan?
My name's Jordan.
I don't know.
Who's got the teleprompter?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a great week. It has been cold,
freezing,
and we want to talk about. So you had a property for a buyer under contract,
yeah,
and that cold snap that kind of came through and it's kind of still here,
yeah,
affected it. I was really curious about that one.
It's strange. It's something that I've never dealt with, and I've sold probably since I started a few years ago, almost a couple hundred homes at this point. You'd think you come across it at least once, but I guess we just don't get that cold enough. And what happened is it's a hedge fund that's selling the property, and sometimes they'll turn the power and the water off, and sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
But on this one, they turned the power off and not the water. So when we went to go have it inspected after we got it under contract, the gas company guy, the guy that was coming to turn it on, called me and said, "Hey, man, I don't know if you know this, but there's water rushing through the bottom of your house." And I was like, thank God it's not my house. First off, let's start there.
But I don't like the word rushing.
Yeah, but I don't like. I asked him.
I prefer dripping.
Yeah, I specifically said, I was like, "What do you mean rushing?" And he was like, "It's literally pouring out of the bottom of your house." And I was like, "Like a creek size or like a couple glasses of water size?" It wasn't good.
Wow.
So I had to call the listing agent, let him know that, because first off, he needs to go turn the water off because it's just flowing everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So they did that. And, the hedge fund's not going to fix the plumbing before we get it inspected. They're just going to sell it as it is. Just it is what it is. Can we reduce the price and make it work? And, we're trying to make that happen. But the inspector's not going to turn the water back on to go look at the pipes for him. So he has no idea what pipes have burst, where. We're trying to get a plumber out there to go see if they can check it out. But as I'm sure y'all are probably aware, they're not the only people that have had their pipes bust. So plumbers they're not a dime a dozen anymore. They're in hot demand right now, literally.
Well, and what probably happened was that property didn't have power and also didn't have the gas on. Nothing was, so that the house was frozen. Like when we hit these lower temps, if HVAC's going and you got heat cruising, then you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe drip your pipes. But these vacants that literally have nothing heating them up, the pipes are going to freeze.
Apparently the front door was open as well.
That's never a good sign.
No. It wasn't like it was broken in, but it seemed like whoever went there last didn't close the door fully, and it was just so windy that it blew it open. So, 5-degree weather blowing through the house with no heat on.
Yeah. It's an interesting point that you make about like plumbers being in demand. And I think about like, recently the storms came through Homewood, and actually it was verified. It wasn't like high crazy tornado, but there was a tornado that went through Homewood and touched down a little bit. Some people got, their houses got really destroyed. Mm-hmm. And so it's like in the middle of like actually a dead season for tree service companies, you have a window of like 2 or 3 weeks where they're just like super, like you wouldn't want to get a tree quote to cut something that didn't have to be cut down that week.
No, unless it was on your house.
Because they're quoting you $1 million.
Yeah.
And the same thing's true is like with plumbers, they're for the next few weeks are probably patching up the issues that were created by these cold snaps. Yep. And it's just not a great time. But that happens, when any natural disaster kind of rolls through. It's like timing your quotes on activities that don't have to happen.
Yeah. HVAC, you need to check it before the first temperatures reach 90 degrees.
Because they're going to get hammered.
Because they're about to get hammered whenever it comes after that. Same with the cold snap. You need to have your heat checked. Make sure you got enough Freon in there to work it before it drops down to 8 degrees, 10
He
degrees.
uses Freon?
I didn't know that, but electric heat pumps do.
Really?
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
what was wrong with that mini split. The Freon was low.
So if
Yeah.
you're Freon, you think check your Freon for the winter.
Too. If
But
you
if it
you've got an
gets low-
electric, if it's a heat pump,
If it's a heat pump, which
Yeah.
a lot of them
Which a lot are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
I definitely lost a fair amount of sleep last night I have 3 vacant properties right now that I was a little worried about.
Yeah.
You know, just with the cold weather and the pipes. And so lost a little bit of sleep
Yeah.
last week. Hopefully we're done with that
Yeah.
weather cycle.
Was the power on at least though, and like
Yeah.
HVAC was running?
Power was on, HVAC was running.
Yeah.
I was able to go over and get the pipes dripping at 2 of them before
Okay.
it got bad,
Yeah.
or get the water dripping.
With the vacant ones, I was asking Blake and them because I have a vacant one also. I was like, what do you guys do when you see this weather coming? Because I don't know exactly how many properties they manage or for any property manager, but there's got to be a plan in place. Even if you got 500 units at any given time, you could have 50 of them vacant and something like this is coming. It's hard if you've only got 2 or 3 guys to go around and turn the water off at everything.
Yeah.
But he says like, hey, we're out at these properties checking them anyways pretty often. So
Yeah.
we just make sure we leave the water dripping.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's a better idea to go ahead and turn the water off at the road and then
Yeah,
let the
yeah.
water flow out so you don't have anything to worry about at all. you know?
I would agree with that. So, Jordan, I think it's interesting because you flip properties. You've got, obviously you're having all these experiences with different dynamics. How does that helping you like inform your buying experiences? Because I feel like you've done so many deals
Yeah,
that you know how a house works.
That's-
you know what to look for.
that's part of it. I think that, having the experience of knowing I had to go turn the water off at the flip house because my guys weren't there. They're not working when it's 8 degrees. Having the knowledge, and you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that have no idea they probably don't even know where their water line is at the front of their property.
Right.
Of how to turn it off. And something even that small last week can cost you $10,000 depending on what you got going on. And being able to understand how the house works, how the systems work that go into it helps me when I go look at properties for anybody, even if it's on the listing side. Understanding, walking through, hey, I'd like to help you list your property, walk through. Okay, you need to probably that leaky pipe on your bathtub. It's a if you want to pay somebody to do it, it's a $150 fix.
Let's get it fixed.
Let's get it fixed now so it's not dripping as people walk through your house to look at it. It's like putting batteries in your smoke detectors.
Simple.
You got one beep, beep, beep. Look, it's a 9-volt battery. I'll go buy it for you. I'll put it in for you. But if you're going to list this house, let's say it's a really nice house, you cannot have that beeping.
Yeah.
That's the first thing people notice, in my opinion. Maybe it's just me that notices it. But it's definitely subconsciously noticed, for sure.
All the little things like that.
Yeah.
We're about to list our house, and there's a grease spot on the driveway, like an oil stain or something.
Yep.
And it was like a little more than $100 to pressure wash everything, and they said they could get rid of that stain with like a commercial degreaser.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if we should do that, but Amy was like, you have to do it. There's
Look
that's
around
the
you.
first thing I would do, because when you look at the house, like
You see a spot.
your eye gets drawn to that.
Yep.
And it's dark, and she was like, it's not gonna be gone, but it'll be
Diminished.
way diminished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of little things like that some of the little things don't matter that much, but some of them really do.
Yeah.
Like soffit or fascia, being a little bit rotted or kind of having some small defects to it. Not a huge deal. First off, it's just a 1x4. It's easy to fix.
Yeah.
Or 1x6. It's easy to fix. But people aren't really going to notice it
No.
unless it's like falling off of the house.
Yeah.
But they're going to notice that stain.
But they're going to notice that stain.
You're
No
gonna notice
doubt.
that stain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just doing all the exterior. We're getting a house wash. We did the bushes, and the beds, and all those little things, the curb appeal type stuff.
Yeah.
That
really help.
helps. Yeah.
It's crazy because it's honestly not even the most expensive
No.
things that make the house sellable.
No,
I guess if
it's
that's
really
the
not.
word we want to use.
And I think too, like when, I look at another step of the buying and selling process, the inspection report.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those inspectors go in and they type up this report and it looks really, really scary. And because of my knowledge of flipping houses and kind of working with these things, I can walk a buyer seller through these inspection reports and negotiate those a lot more effectively because I actually know what these inspection reports are saying.
Yeah.
And which items are actually not a big deal. Like, hey, you can get someone to do that afterwards. Let's not ask for 50 things, but we're going to ask for the 2 things that are expensive and we want done right the way before we actually move forward on this property. And so I think, knowledge of how a house works makes me a better agent to effectively, help people buy and sell a house that ultimately they're going to live in long term.
I think the big deal is for us too is just doing so many deals, since we've started this thing, that it's different from somebody that is going to go live in their forever home.
Yeah.
Right. To them, that inspection report is terrifying, because there's so many things in red, which anybody listening, if you find an inspection report that has nothing red in it, you need a new inspector because
That's their job.
They need to find something, even if it's small. They need to find something. But I'm trying to say, if it's your forever home, those things are terrifying, and it will cause people to just walk away when it might cost you $400 or $500 to fix something that looks absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Not bad. So, funny story. Well, maybe it's not that funny, but I set myself up for
high expectations now. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So I got an email from one of my property managers. Tenant recently moved in. I think they've been there a month, and they have requested that a puppy stays with them. And they were asking, and
Requested, or they just did it?
Well, they just basically got a dog, and then I don't know, somewhere in the scheme of things, I got a picture of a dog and a request that would be okay, and it was like a hard pass. I was like, and so now I have to go to that property. I'm going to let the property manager know and say I'll be by in a week to verify that dog is not on site. So I'm sure that they have him, taking care of him. Maybe they found him somewhere, a friend. And now they've been informed that that's not longer. But I mean, animals, man, it's like that wasn't in the agreement on the front end. There's no way I'm doing a pet fee and letting you have a dog in that property. So on my low end stuff, I don't do animals.
Yeah.
Even on the high end stuff, it's debatable whether I want that. Cats are out.
No way, cats. Maybe a dog. Because I'm a dog
Small
person.
Dog. Maybe a small dog.
Even if it's a little bit bigger, just because, it could be a crazy dog, but I think that if you can charge enough to make it worth it, people will appreciate that.
Yeah.
So one time I rented a house, and this was one that it's one of the last ones that I rented myself because I ended up transitioning it to the property manager. But when I rented to this guy, he's had 3 ferrets, and he wanted to have the ferrets move in with him. And he said they're what do they call those, like service animals?
A ferret?
Yeah, he said it was an emotional support.
Yeah, emotional support
animal for him.
Yeah,
all 3 of them, I guess, were. And I was like, okay, that's fine, but I have to charge you 3 pet fees for these ferrets. I don't know anything about like how much damage they can do or anything about ferrets, but my pet fee was $250 or something. So I was like, so I've got to charge you $750 to bring these, and he paid it, and I don't think we ever had any issues with the ferrets.
You didn't have a ferret infestation after he left?
No, I think
I think ferrets are pretty chill.
I've heard they're mean.
Oh, really?
I've heard. I'm not a ferret expert. I'm not YouTubing ferret, behavioral habits, but
I don't know anything about these ferrets, but I guess it's okay. It's probably better than like a cat or a dog.
Anything is better than a cat.
Yeah.
Cats are a nightmare.
I felt like I came out on top when
100%.
He didn't do much damage.
Do you charge for, if you do a pet, do you charge a monthly on top of the front end non-refundable?
Well, I don't. Our property manager doesn't. I think you should. I think appropriate compensation for the damage they're going to do, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a upfront. It's usually about $250, and then I do a monthly, and usually it's about $40 to $50 on a monthly.
Yeah, you should. Bigger apartments do.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to pay that, then they're probably not good pet
probably
owners.
not animal
anyways.
lovers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. They're probably not a good owner of a
Because
pet.
it's like either your dog or your cat or whatever it is, not cats, but if your dog or whatever the animal you have is really worth, you love them and you take care of them like you're supposed to, $40 a month, like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to live here. This has a good yard. Like, I'm willing to do that. It's not a
Right.
problem.
Exactly.
Pets and properties. It's funny because when you search for it, you're like, I need advice about it. And like Bigger Pockets, it's like lit up, and it's like people just think very differently. It's because some people are like, it's actually a really great way to bump the rent up and get extra revenue, and there are good pet owners out there who that is their baby basically,
Right.
and they treat them very well, and there's great animals out there. But on the flip side, you could have a dog who the owner is gone all day because they're working.
Mm-hmm.
They don't walk them.
Right.
And so literally they're
Chaos.
just pent up and anxious,
Yeah.
and then they tear up your house because
will.
of that. So
Yeah.
I'm
it's just tough.
I'm kind of curious, Todd and Rob, on y'all's opinion. When we were talking about inspection reports earlier, we've seen hundreds of inspection reports,
If not thousands.
Yeah, we've bought and
sure.
sold hundreds, which means those all had inspection reports. But there's a lot that we got under contract that never made it past inspection.
Yeah.
What is the scariest thing that is actually a nothing that you've seen an inspector pull up?
Golly, that's a great question.
Oh, yeah. That is good.
It's definitely something homeowners would see and be like, oh, we're walking away from this, when in reality you could go out there in 20 minutes or something.
I wouldn't say it's the scariest thing, but what gets nabbed and looks nasty and feels like a big project is wood rot. Oftentimes in siding, you got the fascia around doors. A lot of these things are just cut it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
patch it, and paint back over it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the whole house is falling apart. It's just a section of area. Now I will say there typically is a reason why there's wood rot there. So it could be a faulty gutter,
Which
a gutter
is a
that's
lot of
not,
time for fascia, yeah.
not properly like sloped, or like around doorways. A lot of times you'll see that it's kind of pooling water, and maybe it's the slant of the thing. So the fix for making it not happen again could be an additional step.
Yeah.
But the actual replacement of a little bit of siding or different things is usually like super easy. But it looks like, oh my gosh, this house is falling apart.
It's
It's
literally
got
rotting.
wood rot in 5 places.
They make those door jambs and stuff look so much like one piece.
Yeah.
You don't realize that it's a little bitty stick right here that you can just pop off, and then it's a 1x6 that you can pop off, and then your door jamb behind it. It's a lot of stuff that's actually makes it look like one piece, but it's very easy to cut out sections of it.
Oh, yeah.
Same with fascia. What about you?
I'm going to say probably like GFCI breakers or GFCI outlets.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you don't have them where they should be, because you'll get some language like could cause electrocution.
Yeah.
Or like,
Could cause a fire.
They all could.
yeah, could cause a fire or electrocution hazard. But like it's $8 for one of those things. You can probably install it yourself, or someone can do it for you for
Very
$50
cheap.
installed.
Yeah.
And it's really not a big deal, but the language that gets put on the report.
It's crazy. And
Opens
how
the
long?
possibility
How long has GFCI been around? You go look at these houses from the '60s. There's no GFCI.
No.
It's every man for himself out here. Like, But it does sound terrifying. That's funny.
Yeah.
I kind of thought y'all would say something else, and I thought you were going to take mine. But
He's like, I really just set up this question to answer my own question.
I definitely set it up to answer my own
like
question. And I'm glad y'all didn't take it, because I was worried about it. One thing that I see all the time, especially on the investment properties we do, is the plastic under the house. Where it's just dirt
vapor
floor
barrier.
under there, the vapor barrier, and you got to have a 6 mil vapor barrier, and it just sounds so terrifying, and the pictures look terrible because it's a dirt floor, and if it looks like it's supposed to have something there,
Yeah.
but you go to Home Depot and those vapor barriers are like $20 for a 40-foot section. You can literally go under there yourself and just whoop, roll
Slide
it out.
Yep. If you want to get your hands dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. I would rather do that than touch the GFCI breaker.
Yeah, that's true.
Outlet.
Definitely.
It's a lot less chance of
Yeah, I'm not touching any GFCI breakers.
So offline, we were talking about it. Hueytown flips progressing.
Yes.
And some of the people that actually people working in it were like, why are you having to go through this? The way we have it arranged currently, you're going to have to go through one of 2 bedrooms to get to the laundry room. It's kind of tucked back. Huge controversy on Instagram.
It was
because
I don't know why it was
posted
huge.
I don't know why either. I feel good about the decision we're making, but I posted on Instagram. I said, "Would you rather?" So we had a plan. We redid the floor plan to show that basically the laundry would be right off of the kitchen / dining room and kind of have louver doors and just kind of, it wouldn't be a room, it'd just be a closet that you have, which is typical. That happens a lot. Or it basically would be in this back room that would be adjacent to the primary walk-in closet and a bedroom. So you'd have a doorway to both of those. And I think that's the win. But it was surprising. 46% said to do it in the dining room / kitchen area.
Is that just because that's what they're used to seeing, you think? Or
So
I don't know.
But the majority was put it.
The majority was
I
put
mean,
it
52%, so not that much
Yeah,
higher.
yeah,
Could have been
yeah.
one vote
Yeah.
depending on how many you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the majority was to put it in the back area.
So people were really split on this.
They were very split, and I was assuming that it would be bigger, like 20-75.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because your perspective on a house versus someone else's perspective, like you just kind of never know, like to a degree.
I'm surprised when I saw those results. I was like,
Yeah.
there's a couple serial killers out there for sure.
I disagree with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing, but I mean, I'm going to do more of that because it is kind of this perspective of like, what do people want? And when they're walking your flip or they're walking a property, like everybody has kind of different lifestyle choices that houses provide.
Right.
And, I can see for some people, they maybe had a laundry in the back room and it was annoying to them. And for
Yeah.
whatever reason,
That's
they
true.
always had to walk through or whatever. So, so we got to make a call. I think we're
I
going to
think
keep
you know
it.
which call to make.
I think we're
Yeah.
going to keep it in the back area. For 2 people, it's super convenient, and for the third person, they're probably a child and potentially not even doing their own.
What are y'all
laundry.
doing with the
Yeah.
space that would have been the laundry room and the kitchen?
So basically, at this point, we had to move over the bathroom and it took up 2 closets. So the bathroom moved into the closet area. We had to recreate a closet area. And then to create the other closet / laundry space. So we're just going to keep everything, the floor plan, pretty much the same. The closet will stay in the spot. And I think for the most part, that's also the most cost effective because we're not reframing several big sections. So I was talking with the partner that I'm working with on, he's kind of the DC overseeing all the repairs. And he's like, "Oh, we're already in there. It's not work much more." And I'm like, that's still like a day worth of framing."
Yeah.
And so we're trying to keep the budget in tight because this is a burnout.
Yeah, that's what.
So it's down to studs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's actually kind of cool because you have these options to move
Yeah.
walls and it still not be crazy expensive. And plumbing, like, he was like, with the plumber, we're having to replumb all this anyway. So, split the difference. Basically, but that said, it still is, I think, going to be more expensive to do the other way. So
Not worth it.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
If nothing else, but just that aspect
Yeah,
by itself.
Well, at least half the people who look at it are going to say,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
right where this should be.
That's true.
I love this laundry off the master closet.
How many people voted on that?
it was about 30
Wow.
or 40. So I
So
mean,
15.
people are opinionated,
Yeah.
But another thing too, I was just talking to a client, and they have a house we're looking at potentially selling that is kind of mid-century. It's kind of the front face doesn't have that typical Birmingham, 40s, 50s look, and it kind of just has 2 roofs that kind of slant off, and it's very,
I know what you're talking about.
you know,
Yeah.
mid-century-esque. It's a cool house. And I was just talking with him, and I was like, well, to be honest, I don't think the house has less value, But I think you have to realize your buyer pool is smaller.
Yeah.
Because there's certain people who will be turned off by that look.
Yeah.
They don't imagine themselves in a house that's mid-century. There's some people who will love it.
Yeah.
And they're actually looking for that. Or they don't necessarily, they've looked at a lot of houses, but that was like, oh, this is kind of a cool characteristic that I like. And I think it's interesting as you go through houses and there's things that will make people love it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
And there's just these subtleties and nuances
Split
to
levels.
how split levels.
Whew. Can't stand
Very
them.
divisive.
Yes, I can't stand
Literally
them.
and metaphorically.
Yeah. Oh.
I have a split level.
I have
And
a
I hate
tri-level.
split level. Well, yeah, mine's actually tri-level.
Yeah,
you had a
yours
tri-level
is too. Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
one was
that's
your
right.
tri-level?
Our house in Wine Ridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not a huge fan.
Yeah. Well, it was when we had 2 under 2. So it
Oh
was
my God.
really
Stairs just.
all those stairs with the little ones is not good.
Oh, it was brutal. I had to build the way ours was. Did you have to build some auxiliary like fence like things to put the gates up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we did it, but we definitely had to get gates up and like
It's dangerous,
Just
man.
nightmare.
yeah,
man.
it is. Yeah.
I
At least
guess
they're short staircases,
It's
but
nice maybe if you want your family to be like if they're teenagers or something and you want them to just like go downstairs or
Yeah.
go away from the main
you
area.
get cool
but
basements. in
yeah,
those.
that's true.
You know what I've noticed about tri-levels, and your flip is the tri-level.
Yeah.
It's an amazing amount of space they can pack in to a
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about the arrangement of that, like,
Yeah.
but you're just like, you walk in them and you're like, this house is actually surprisingly
Compared
big.
to the outside, I would agree
Yeah.
with that.
So it's almost, yeah. So I think that is the interesting thing. Now, mine, you know, when we were looking Homewood, we had to make compromises. The tri-level was one of them. But I kind of justified it because going up to the top steps was more open. It's not like, you know, those tri-levels that kind of have a narrow hall that goes to the bedrooms. Like it's all open to the bedroom area. So it felt not so closed off.
Yeah.
So that was number one. And there's also only 4 steps up to the bedroom
So it's
level.
not that crazy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
still feels like the living space
Yeah.
is pretty much on one level. And then the basement is kind of like a whole flight of stairs downstairs to the
Yeah.
basement. So
I can't stand it when you walk directly into the door and you got your landing
Shoot
and then
me
up or
down.
down.
Oh yeah.
when you have to make a decision.
Yeah, I
and-
can't. Like I'm just gonna stay right here. This is my home now. The landing.
No, I agree. I don't think I could own a home.
And I don't think a lot of people like those.
I don't.
And I don't know why they built so many of them.
There's a good
I
amount.
mean,
of them out
why?
there.
What were they doing?
Yeah.
There was one developer who's just like, this is the
This is our
perfect
style.
floor plan.
It's going to be the future. Trust
I
me.
want people to get the cardio in right as they walk in the door.
Yeah.
You walk in, you've got a decision to make.
You got
You
it.
go up or you go down.
Red pill, blue pill.
That's what ours is that, but then you can also go left, and then you've got like that's one of the levels is like just a little
Just to the left.
yeah. There's like a little room that has great natural light, and it's probably like I don't know 12 by 15 kind of open room.
Right.
I think you would call this house like mid-century modern style. I love it. Like I love A-frames.
Yeah.
We'll never live in it because Amy doesn't like that. But
Yeah. What mama wants, she gets.
yeah,
It'll be your like bachelor pad after the fact, you know, like you guys are like, you're just like, we have our main home together and then we just have our
It's his
secondary
vacation
home where I can just
it works
go
in the
and-
mountains well.
Yeah. Oh, in the
A-frames,
mountains. I agree.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For
They
sure.
do
Like, we're not
work.
mountains people though.
Really, I'm a mountain
So-
person. I'm not a beach person. It's not my thing.
Yeah, you're one or the other. I think.
Yeah.
is
Callie
what-
loves the beach. I hate it. So, sand.
Yeah, I like it. Like I went the other day, I didn't go the other day. Last time we went, there was this family and they had a bunch of teenagers and they let me play volleyball with them all.
Grown man just playing volleyball with
Yeah, I was like,
teenagers.
let's do this.
Okay.
I mean, it was the parents. The parents were playing like it was like this
Oh, okay,
family,
okay,
like
okay.
their friends. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
You didn't
and-
just walk up on a group of teenagers.
No,
and
no,
say,
no, no, no.
I want to play
There's-
some volleyball.
No,
with
like
y'all.
the parents were playing. Like I think they had some other couple friends. Like it was just a big group, and so I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, can I play?" No, it's not weird. Just, let's just clarify. But like to me, I could have done that
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, you
but that's
can't
what
do that in the
I love
mountains.
playing sports. I love
yeah.
like, but yeah, just laying on the beach. Shoot me now.
Yeah. I can do it for a day, but
I can maybe.
I'm done after
maybe
that.
an hour.
Yeah. Well, you put enough beer in my hand, I can sit out there.
There's a lot of things
problem.
you can
I can do a
stomach.
lot of things.
That's really funny. Man. But yeah, it's interesting, the homes we have in Birmingham, different dynamics, different layouts, but it goes back to value. I think to a degree, ranchers have really high value in this town.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
I love
very
my ranch.
desirable.
Yeah.
The ranch that I did have, I don't have one anymore, but it was nice. Everything's on the same level.
I do. I mean, that's something, no steps with kids or, or only steps to like the second level.
Right, where you sleep
For us,
or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's like after we had that house with all the steps, because there was steps to get up to the main entry, and then you get in and you're either going up or down on steps. And we figured out, like, with kids, this is a tough setup.
Yeah.
With small kids.
Which is a large
Oh,
portion
yeah.
of the people looking for homes.
Yeah, if you're looking for that first home to, like, you're pregnant and you're out looking for your first home
Yeah.
for the
That
new
ain't it.
baby, I would recommend staying away from that if you haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who
Stay away
was
from steps.
selling his house,
Yeah.
and they fell in love with the house. They bought it a long time ago. They tried to sell it. They actually decided not to, but it was on the market for a while, and it had no backyard. So nice neighborhood,
Oh yeah.
nice. I think it was a 4-3, what you would typically buy as a family person.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't find a buyer, or I think if they dropped the price, they would have obviously found someone who made work. But they got a discount on the front end too.
So they
Right.
should
And it
know.
was because the backyard.
Yeah.
There's no backyard. So thinking through those things of like, is this a compromise I'm willing to make and I'm okay with on the sale? So another thing, back to my current house in Homewood, 2 things we compromised, actually 3, because one, I wanted a garage. That's not a huge compromise in Homewood. It's really hard to find a
Yeah.
garage. But number 1, it's close to the road.
It is.
We are literally 1 step away from
Yeah.
Lakeshore, which is really busy road. And then even a little bit further from the highway, we're removed from it, but still kind of close. So you still hear noise, especially in
Really?
winter. So number 2 is there's no master bath.
Oh yeah.
And those are 2 major compromises I had to make to, afford this area. And I know that on the back end I can sell the house, but all the comps and all the things telling me that my house is worth X, I just got to realize it's probably worth about $30,000 to $40,000 less because of the lack of master bath and close to the road.
You don't have any room to put anything in. It's pretty maxed out.
No,
where
it's
at.
it's this tri-level. It's like I've thought so many different ways to rearrange that house, and I'm like, you
not
just got
worth
to
the
knock
30
it
grand.
down.
Yeah.
You just got to
Start over. I'm on board. Let me know when that day comes. I'll be there to watch.
But it's funny, like my neighbor around the street, he actually just added on. They went up because they looked at trying to find a bigger house, and Homewood's so expensive. They're like, it actually makes sense for us to just build out this place
It's interesting.
Oh yeah.
because the land itself is. I mean, when I bought my house, the land appraisal was worth 160, and the building was worth 90.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's not good when it comes to taxes, though, right?
I'm
For
not sure. I don't
depreciation.
know how that works.
Well, you can't if it was a rental.
Oh, yeah, that's
Then-
right. You can't do it for your own property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, depreciate
Yeah.
the building
Yeah.
part. Yeah, yeah.
If it
yeah.
was, well, it is a rental. Oh, this is your new house that you're on right now.
This is my
I think
current,
so.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
my current house, yeah. So I thought that was funny. I was like, well, we're definitely land rich, I guess. I don't
yeah.
know.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Old Mr.
Yeah.
Dutton over here. We're land rich in Homewood. That's funny.
Oh man, there was a sign that said, "We give up space to live in this place," because there's a lot of small homes in Homewood, especially
Yes.
the Edgewood area.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there's families living in 3-1s just to make it work.
I'm
man.
good. Nah, I'm good. Count me out.
Yeah. Not us.
Nope.
Not us. Yeah,
Y'all
you
couldn't
can't.
fit in a land like a 3-1
No.
if you wanted to.
What's the smallest house? Because you got 5 kids.
Yeah.
What's the smallest house you think you could survive in? Like square footage and like room/bedroom or bath configuration.
Well, we're in 4-2. Well, no, 4-3 right now, and it works fine. It's like how many square feet? 2,700 in the
2,600
2,600
for the house.
I think
And
we
you have an au
garage.
pair, so there's really
Well, she's in a garage.
we didn't count that.
Apartment.
okay. So you're not
It's
counting
close
in
to
that
3,000
4.
square foot with
Yeah, if you
above
count that.
garage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the house, the main house, we're like 2,600 square feet and 4.3. I think we fit fine. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff in the garage.
Yeah.
Like if you
You ain't parking in there.
Could you
No,
do?
yeah.
Could you do a 3.2 2,000 square feet?
I think that'd be tough. I think we could do it if we had to.
Because you guys in a bedroom, and then you have 2 other bedrooms.
If it
to
was-
put 5 kids.
Yeah, if it was like a good ranch layout, like master wing over here, 1-2 over here, master bath,
Yeah.
and hall bath that these share, I think we could do it.
Everett just sleeps on a pull-out couch every night.
Get a bunch of we'd have a bunch of bunk beds.
Everybody's like, "Where's your bedroom?" She's like, "Right here."
Right here. You're sitting on it as we watch television.
We get a bunch of bunk beds.
Yeah.
And the key is just not filling it with like toys and other
Yeah, junk.
trinkets and stuff.
We
Like,
got the junk, that's for sure.
yeah, it's hard to
I
stop
asked that question because, like, sometimes our house feels a little small. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'd like a little extra space or whatever. But then I'm like, there are people who live in a lot less and
Oh,
make
yeah.
it work.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, just be blessed with what you have.
It's so hard.
Be content and just make it work. You
Yeah.
know, do the best you can. And so I just asked that because I feel sometimes cramped, and I have a 3.2, about 2,000 square foot.
Oh, yeah.
I've only got 2 kids. Oh man.
Yeah, my kids are small now, right now too.
Yeah.
Though, so once they got big, there's no way we could. do
Yeah,
that
no,
on
you
that.
can't be sharing bedrooms when they're
No.
No, that's when you send them
older.
away to like education, like exchange programs.
Yeah.
You're like, you're going to Italy this
yeah.
week, this
Oh,
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, I'm only 13. You're like, we're still going.
See you later. See ya.
We need the room.
That's funny.
Oh man. Well, hopefully this was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love chewing the fat, man.
Oh yeah. Chewing the fat with the cash flow bros.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Anyway, hope you all have a great week, and stay tuned as we continue this beginner series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and just looking forward to the market heating up in the spring.
Yeah.
Me too. As we put this flip on the market, I'm ready for it to heat up.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's crank
Yeah.
it.